The Bajau Lauts are sea nomads who have for centuries lived off the coastal waters of Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines. Traditionally, they were fishermen and expert free divers who could dive to the depths of over 200 feet without any scuba equipment. But now, their survival at sea is threatened due to restrictions in movement, due to development, and of course, due to the dwindling population of fish. But moving to land is not an option either because they are considered illegal immigrants due to their stateless status. So caught between the sea and land, their life is really very uncertain, especially for the younger generations. Today, we are very pleased to have with us Miss Liew Hui Ling, who will share with us how she and a group of her friends set up and run a school for Bajau Laut children in the islands of Omadal. Please help us welcome Miss Liew Hui Ling.
Good afternoon. My name is Liew Hui Ling, and I'm representing ISKUL. The title of my talk today is Hope for Stateless Bajau Laut of Omadal. I'm a typical urban girl from Cheras. So when I joined WWF Malaysia as Marine Conservation Officer and moved to Semporna, Sabah in 2014, you can imagine the culture shock I experienced when I first arrived. The booming tourism industry has transformed the coastal town and presented a starkly unusual lifestyle. Hotels and hostels, backpackers sprang up like mushrooms. Tourists filled and roamed the town. Tagging behind many of the tourists are children aged no older than 13 years, begging for money. Their clothes stained, torn, hair uncombed, hand dusted and greasy. They appeared scummy. Often they come with unpleasant smell. And I realized later that they are the children of the Bajau Laut community. I have been approached many times during my routine errands or while having meals. One time I was having breakfast with my colleague, and we were approached by an old woman and a girl. My colleague offered to buy them breakfast. They accepted and they asked for money, to which my colleague refused to give. You would probably be like me, wondering, why not give them the money? It is, after all, an easier option, isn't it? Not exactly. My colleague told me that such kindness and empathy will only encourage them to live by begging. She added that instead of giving them the money, find out why they beg for life and how we can help them better. And that got me thinking. And the stars aligned. A year later, I met Itia. She was conducting a graduate research project about Bajau Laut community in Semporna. It was a brief 8-week trip for her, but for me, it was an eye-opening 8-week that brought me into the world of these sea nomads. Their intriguing lifestyles has fascinated and attracts tourists all around the world and been used by the state to promote tourism. What was not promoted is the hardship. The Bajau Laut are impoverished, malnourished, and stateless. Intending to make a difference, Icha and I co-founded a learning initiative, then now a learning center for the Bajau Laut in Omadal Island, Semporna. A little bit more about the Bajau Laut. For generations, they resided in the waters of Semporna. They roamed the Sulu Sea as subsistence fishermen, even before the creation of borders. They are part of a larger group of Sama Bajau, which consists of the land-based and the shore-based people. In Sabah, the land-based people live in the west coast and the shore-based people live in the east coast. These two groups are distinct and different culturally. What are the issues that plague the Bajau Laut? There are 3. Issue number 1, they do not have any legal documentation, not registered, and are therefore stateless, having no access to education and healthcare. Due to their nomadic lifestyle, many have missed the Malaysian citizenship registration in 1969. While some fled the armed conflict in southwestern Mindanao in the 1970s to seek refuge in Sabah, many have lost the UNHCR refugee passes and other related documentation over the years. Without legal documentation, the Bajau Laut are trapped, risking detention, deportation if they are trying to leave. They live in constant fear. Unrecognized by the authority, they do not have the basic privilege of a typical Malaysian citizen. In Omadal, there are 200 children who are not able to go to school, not literate, and are not able to speak Bahasa Malaysia fluently. Pregnant mothers in Omadal Island have to give birth at home without medical support. Infants are born without the required vaccinations. If they are admitted to the hospital, they are required to pay a hefty hospitalization fee due to their non-citizen status. Issue number 2, they are stuck in the cycle of poverty. Approximately 900 to 1,000 stateless individuals are living off the shore of Omadal Island, Semporna. The Bajau Laut live on stilt houses made of scrap materials from construction sites or woods found floating in the sea. Last September, I visited the house of ISKUL student Rumal. His home is about 9 square meters, roughly the standard size of an exhibition booth. Instead of nice white panel, Rumal's home is made of pieces of zinc rooftop, stacked and nailed over one another. That one small home has to accommodate 10 people, adults and children, and a few boxes of donated clothes. That small house, that small space is their living room, their bedroom, their kitchen, and their dining room, their toilet, a small hole outside that sends everything directly into the open sea beneath. The poorest of the poor, they rely on gasoline for lights, although they are very used to the dark. They have no access to clean water. Sometimes I wonder if they drink water at all because I only see buckets of collected rainwater outside their home, and there is no tap water connection. So they rely heavily on the sales of their catch to restock their staples, tapioca and white rice. I've asked several ISKUL students what they normally have for their meals. They say they have very diluted rice porridge with soy sauce, sometimes white rice and salted fish, other times tapioca. Children often snack on one packet of Maggi instant noodles. As sea nomads, their skills revolves around fishing, dry salted fish, repair and build boats. They do not know any better, or do they have any other options? ISKUL conducted a simple census in Omadal recently, and the census revealed that 62% of the families earn less than RM10 a day, and 23% earn between RM11 to RM20 a day. And this scarcity, this poverty is being inherited from the father to the son. And this brings me to the third issue, glue addiction and social fear. The inherited poverty leads to desperation, and the desperation leads many adults and children to seek comfort in the form of a yellow sticky material, glue. A common material used to repair shoes, wooden furniture, and has a pungent odor that would normally disgust people who are unfamiliar with the smell. Yet it is a prevalent addiction among the Bajau Laut and Bajau Laut children and adults. During a community survey, we've asked and identified addicts the effect of sniffing glue. They say they'll feel happy and they'll forget the awful reality of their poverty, their discrimination, and their starvation. We understand the enormity of the issue and we try to solve it within our capacity. So ISKUL is established to focus on Omadal Island and to answer one of the community's needs, basic literacy. A simple conversation led to the formation of ISKUL. It started with, would you like to go to school? The Bajau Laut children gave a very shy no in the beginning. And when asked why, they reasoned that because they are not smart. Then the next few questions were asked, what if your friends teach you? Would you like to go to school? And we get a resounding yes. The concept is to have children to teach children. And so we have school-going Malaysian children known as Mastal Arikik, or little teacher to teach our Bajau Laut children.
Sekarang C.
After the successful trial class, the idea turned into an initiative and then a society and a learning center that continues to grow. In Bajau, ISKUL means school, and Sama Dilaut refers to the Bajau Laut community. So ISKUL Sama Dilaut Omadal translates to School for Bajau Laut in Omadal. Back in 2015 and 16, cross-borders attack by the suspected Abu Sayyaf militants, Icha and I could not stay long in Omadal Island. So we appointed Kak Rosia, our headmistress, to help coordinating the weekend classes. Usually we communicate online, and we will make annual visits to make assessment. When I was staying in Omadal Island, I could really tell that the Bajau Laut children really enjoy learning. They'll come to the classes early in the morning, and when they receive our customized ISKUL shirt for them, they're very happy and very proud. They wear it every day. When we conducted our first awards day and presented them the certificate of appreciation, they mistakenly thought that they finally obtained their identification documentation. It tugged our hearts because it showed that they desire to have their identity documents. In 2017, July 2017, Persatuan Pendidikan Bajau Laut, ISKUL Sama Dilaut Omadal, is finally registered under Jabatan Pendaftaran Pertubuhan Malaysia, JPPM. Today, ISKUL is 3 years and 2 days old, and on 1st of August, we celebrate the 5th year of formation. 2018, 3 years after formation, we received a grant from Masing Foundation to build Pondok ISKUL. With this Pondok ISKUL, our students can finally sit in a proper classroom and learn without distraction. No more students skipping lessons to run errands or to help buy something from the nearby grocery store. Last year, we have a new intake of students aged between 5 to 13 years old. This year, the year 2020, though eventful, has been a fortuitous one. In February, we also welcome our first full-time teacher, Jeffrey, who is now based in Omadal Island. During the movement control order, the Bajau Laut could not go to the sea, they could not sell their catches, and they could not buy groceries. So we raised funds and channeled COVID-19 relief aid to the 156 families on Omadal Island. ISKUL has always put emphasis on having the local Malaysian and stateless Bajau Laut to manage ISKUL. We hope to deepen their mutual understanding through ISKUL and break barriers and discrimination among the community. I'd like to point out here that ISKUL does not wish to impose any standard or norm in the life of the Bajau Laut children and the Bajau Laut community. We simply want to bring the world to them and to give our best by providing opportunities for them to improve their livelihood their way. And maybe helping them by providing them with platforms, resources, and opportunities. Most importantly, options. This is Manuel. Manuel is one of our rising stars in our first intake. When he first joined, he spoke and understood very little of Bahasa Malaysia. He was quiet and shy, but he is an intelligent, kind, and hardworking boy. In 2017, he was able to translate my questions in Bahasa Malaysia to Bajau when I communicate with other students, and translate their responses in Bajau to Bahasa Malaysia to me. We all have high hope for him. Last year, when I visited, Manuel was helping his father to dry salted fish. His mother told me that Manuel, who is now able to read, write, count, and speak Bahasa Malaysia, is helping his father to write, calculate, and sell salted fish. His mother shared that she's very happy that Manuel is now literate. And she shared Manuel's desire and dream to get out of Omadal Island. Manuel is even afraid of going to Semporna town for fear of being arrested. I sat there silent and my heartstrings pulled. And in that moment, I realized I had a lot to do. And ISKUL has a lot to do. As one of the co-founders of ISKUL Sama Dilaut Omadal, it is both an honor and a mission. My parents has worked very hard to enable me to pursue education. It is a privilege. And this privilege is one that I wish to share with the Bajau Laut children of Omadal Island through ISKUL. The Bajau are the native of the Sulu Sea. Their children are born in Malaysia. They are independent subsistence fishermen, selling fishes and supporting local seafood industry. Their fascinating lifestyle has been used to promote tourism, such as Regatta Lepa Lepa, an annual festival that pays homage to the Lepa boat by the Bajau tribe in Semporna. Similarly, travel companies organize paid trips to visit their settlement. But what does the community get? They're not eligible, and they do not get any aid from any country. And worst of all, they live in constant fear. They could not get out of this place they are born, Omadal, Semporna, Sabah, for a better opportunity. ISKUL envision a generation of Bajau Laut who is able to read, write, and speak Bahasa Malaysia fluently. We hope they live a better life than their parents. And we want them to be acknowledged that they are capable of contributing to Malaysia's economy and development. We started with 5 weekend classes, and now we have 5 days of classes a week. Besides Bahasa Malaysia and mathematics, our students will also receive weekly lessons of general knowledge about Sabah and Malaysia. We strongly believe that they should know about this land, this country they are born in and growing up at. With improved hygiene among the Bajau Laut community, we hope that the general perception of the community will also be improved. The Bajau Laut has no concept of time, and through ISKUL programs, we hope to help them record birth among the community, so at least the children know their age. This is the closest we get to giving them an identity. Before I conclude my talk today, I would like to invite you to ponder on this question. How do you define kindness and empathy? How do you act on it? My definition of kindness and empathy comes from observing my parents. I grew up believing everyone is born kind at heart. This year, during my 6-week trip in Omadal Island, I learned a different way to act on it. I spent a third of my trip sleeping alone in Pondok ISKUL. Pondok ISKUL is open most of the day until I rest at night. One of the nights when I was hosting dinner for my students, one of my students asked if I'm staying and sleeping alone. I replied, yes, I did not mind at all. The student, Jaleha, however, cried. I was shocked. Other students told me that she felt sorry for me for doing many things alone. Having grown up with many kids and many siblings, Jaleha must have felt sad that I was doing many things without a companion. Imagine someone with so little in life empathize me who have many privileges in life for doing many things alone. And I was very touched. And after that night, I was no longer staying alone in Pondok ISKUL because some of my students decided to stay with me. And that to me is the true act of kindness and empathy. And this is not something that can be faked. So if I may repeat my question again, how do you define kindness and empathy? And how do you act on it? If I may suggest, be an enabler. Like my parents, like any parents who have taught us to be kind, please be kind to one another. Let's be kind to one another. But most importantly, observe how they enable us to be who we are today. So be an enabler too. The community, the children, took the courage and made the effort to change. They did not settle in, but continue to dream on. And so we should enable it. Encourage and support the community by contributing in your own way, be it time, expertise, or money. Support grassroots initiatives like ISKUL, who are empowering the community, and the community is truly receiving the direct benefits. Help us, help Bajau Laut community break away from the cycle of poverty and statelessness. And with that, I thank you for your time. On behalf of ISKUL, I thank Siji Foundation for this invitation to share this stage, and I hope you enjoy my sharing. Maksukul, which means thank you in Bajau. So, Maksukul.
Thank you very much, Ms. Liew Hui Ling, for giving us such an insightful look into the plight of the Bajau Laut in the Isles of Omadal. Master Chen Yen once said, "We persevere not because there is hope, but because in perseverance there is hope." And with great love, nothing is impossible. Through ISKUL, Ms. Liew and her associates have shown us that their perseverance and great love has transformed the lives of the Bajau Laut children in Omadal. Once again, please give Ms. Liew Hui Ling another round of applause for her great effort and great sharing today.